fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. GI Joe is there.
The GI Joe series was mega popular back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, they were everywhere. They had the coolest toys, an action-packed cartoon, heck, even a full-length movie was released back in 1987. Anything that the GI Joe name was attached to was an instant moneymaker. So of course, any chance to put the real American hero on Nintendo consoles in front of hundreds of thousands of kids would for sure be a winning formula. Today you'll find out which of the GI Joe games are worth playing today. The first game of the two, A Real American Hero, is a run-and-gun action platformer game. You'll get to pick between 5 of the Joes: Duke, Snake Eyes, Captain Gridiron, Rock and Roll, Blizzard, and get to play as General Hawk in the last stage. Your leading character is set, and you get to pick between the 2 other characters as your party. Each of the characters has a basic melee attack, as well as a weapon that can be used at enemies. You can also fire grenades when in hand-to-hand combat. Each of the characters have different skill sets that have certain advantages in specific stages. The gameplay design feels like a hybrid of so many different NES games. From the run-and-gun action of Contra, to the ability to swap characters in and out when you're low on health like in the original Ninja Turtles game, or the hand-to-hand action that's similar to Ninja Gaiden. So first there's Blizzard. He's pretty crappy overall, except for the stamina. One cool thing is that he can shoot through walls. Then there's Rock and Roll. He's got the strongest machine gun. Other than that, he's pretty below average in other areas. You have Captain Gridiron, who can punch the shit out of you. He leads the team in the Black Hill mission. Then there's Snake Eyes, who can jump the highest and punch or throw grenades faster than anyone else. He's also the only one who doesn't use up any of the ammunition that you have to pick up. He leads the team in the sewer mission. Duke is the most balanced of the bunch. He's usually in my party if he's not the party leader. The basic power-ups give you some pretty cool abilities. First there's the ammo, either the regular one that gives you 5 or the flashing one that gives you 30. Then there's the ration that lets you fill up either one section or full life if it's flashing. If you pick up 4 of these pistols, you'll upgrade your weapon. It was rewarding being able to gain an extra bit of spread when shooting. There's also temporary invincibility and a life bar increase. Each mission is broken into 3 sub-stages. The first is a typical action platformer where you make it to the end and fight a mini-boss. Then you're in a maze stage trying to blow up these terminals, and in case you get stuck like me finding out how many terminals you have left, the counter is displayed in the lower right hand corner. Once you actually find all of them, you'll have to find the exit in order to make it to the boss stage. The boss battles are, they're okay. They were definitely NES hard, but sometimes a bit generic. I mean, could you expect anything different from a GI Joe game? The cutscenes are absolutely hilarious, like in stage 3 where you flat out dive right into the sewer. Like yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what was supposed to happen on the first take. It almost feels like you're in a cartoon episode of the Joes with some of the cheesy punchline. Down here in the sewers, you will not find life so easy. There's even usable vehicles that you can ride along and shoot at enemies. Thank God for the password system in this one. It really helps to be able to stop playing and pick up at a later point. You even had a full player's guide in Nintendo Power magazine back in March of 1991. I mean, it doesn't get any more badass than this. Overall, I had a blast playing GI Joe: A Real American Hero. So if you're into action platformers and you've already played all the well-known games, then this one will be really up your alley. Alright, the Joe team is back, and this time it's got Capcom in its corner. Cobra Commander is still being a dick, trying to take over the world as usual. The Atlantis Factor lets you choose your own path. It almost reminds me of the old Goosebump books, where you have to pick your own path in order to complete. Capcom used this type of map style level select in the past. The playable characters are General Hawk, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, Roadblock, Duke, or Wetsuit. You start off with General Hawk and unlock the other badass characters in this one. The path you choose determines which characters you'll unlock, find support characters to upgrade, or get health, give you ammo, or bring Joes back to life. The Atlantis Factor borrows a lot of elements from A Real American Hero. You can still switch characters midway through a stage or if they die. You can now power up either your weapon or your hand-to-hand combat. When you do level up your fists, you can actually unlock different abilities. I'm telling you, this flying kick is badass when you reach level 3. When you reach level 4, you get a knee drop ability. The knee move is actually the strongest move in the game. In typical Capcom fashion, the music is as catchy as it can be. I found myself humming away to the tunes as I made my coffee the next morning. As you progress throughout the game, you'll be able to find new weapons such as the laser rifle. This can also be upgraded by picking the power-ups scattered throughout each stage. The game sometimes breaks up into saving prisoners of war in some of the stages before proceeding. It does sway a bit from the first title, but doesn't take away from the gameplay. The bosses were, well, more of the first one it was like. They didn't wow me by any means, but this isn't a Mario game we're talking about over here. One downfall is that some of the same sprites and backgrounds were used. Another terrible thing here is the ridiculous password system going on. A Real American Hero only needed 9 characters. Atlantis Factor has 14 grids like you're in some sort of Connect 4 tournament. I mean, was this really necessary? Overall, I did like GI Joe the Atlantis Factor. If you put a gun to my head and told me to choose between the two, I would pick GI Joe Real American Hero over the Atlantis Factor. So that is both of the GI Joe games that were released on the Nintendo Entertainment System, a legendary 80s cartoon and some great NES titles. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. I'm the RetroKingPin, thanks for watching.